So welcome guys back to another video in the channel, doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. So the first bit of news we are going to be talking about is revolving around Martin Odegaard. So reports are coming out of Spain, I believe, and it's suggesting that Martin Odegaard could be more than open, I'm quoting the source here, to joining Arsenal on a permanent deal. That's according to Defensa Central, who say the defender is more than open to extending his loan stay at the Emirates. Odegaard completed a loan deal to the Emirates earlier this week, joining the Gunners on loan from Real Madrid until the end of the season. He has made the move in search of regular playing time, which has not been found on offer at the Bernabeu under Zinedine Zidane this season. He will be hoping that's on offer under Mikel Arteta. The loan deal does not include an option to buy to make it permanent or extend, but it does seem that Odegaard isn't against the latter. DC report that he's not going to rule out spending another season in London, although that depends on Zidane staying in Madrid. Now that is something I really want to touch on, the situation at Real Madrid come the end of the season, because a similar thing happened with Achraf Hakimi in the summer as well. A situation in which Real Madrid weren't going to sign players, they needed money, and they had two right backs in Carvajal, Odriozola as well. So they looked at it and said, look, Achraf Hakimi, he gives us a lot of money, sell him 42 million. And I think a similar thing could happen with Odegaard. If he does well at Arsenal towards the end of the season, and Arsenal are looking on signing him on a permanent deal. If Odegaard wants a permanent deal, which suggests he could want one, and Zinedine Zidane, let's say, is still at the club, then I think Odegaard might look at it and say, look, let's just join Arsenal if that's the best option for my career. And I think we may well could be, because, you know, a lot of reports, as I suggested with Jack Grealish as well, you know, that we're going to go for a big name player. But I think Odegaard, if he does well, you know, just buy him on a permanent deal. And I think with the situation Real Madrid have with their finances, in which they are in a lot of debt, and other reports were suggesting they need money, if we do offer, let's say, 35 million pounds for someone like Odegaard, I think Real Madrid could sell him. I really do think so. And especially if Zidane's in the club, I think Odegaard could force out an exit if he does enjoy his time at the club. But Dani Ceballos as well, Fabrizio Romano said that Arsenal, you know, could negotiate a buy for Dani Ceballos as well. Whether that will happen, I'm not too sure, but Arsenal and Real Madrid are set to sit down to talk the futures of both Odegaard and Ceballos. I don't see Ceballos staying much longer. He's not playing a lot anyway. He ain't that great. But yeah, we'll just have to see with Odegaard as well what happens, and, you know, between them, what they want to do as going forward. But they would be good friends because of their time in from Real Madrid, obviously in pre-seasons, before obviously Odegaard has gone on loan to different clubs. So it's an interesting one with Odegaard. I would take I'll reserve my judgment. You know, if he does well towards the end of his loan spell, and, you know, we have an opportunity to sign him, if Real Madrid, let's say, still have Zidane or want to get money in, we could sign him, and I'll be open to it. And he's a really good prospect, and he could really help us in the future, especially in that attacking midfield role. And if not, then just send him back to Real Madrid. It's a low risk, and yeah, we'll just have to see how Martin Odegaard does, especially in tonight's game against Manchester United. If he does feature, he has trained, as you can see, the training pictures are the ones I'm showing right now. So we'll just have to see with Odegaard, and that is the news that he is more than open to an extension at Arsenal. Next bit of news is on Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now, in the last 24 hours, a potential loan exit for him has really come into the limelight, first reported by David Ornstein, whatever you want to call him. How reliable do you think you are? I think in these cases, sort of with like player exits and that, like Chris Wheatley or David Ornsteins or Charles Wattses, they're pretty decent on this. So I will trust Ornstein on this one. And he suggested that West Brom are actually trying really hard to sign Ainsley Maitland-Niles till the end of the season. And Southampton are also another club that have been in contact with Arsenal over the last 24 hours. Obviously, the fact that Southampton played 2 games will help, obviously, the officials meeting each other and etc. So maybe a possible deal was discussed then. Also, a current top 4 club are also interested in him, and Arsenal would prefer Ainsley to go there. Now, that top 4 club, according to my sources, are Leicester City. Now, Leicester City, I think, would be a good move for him, just because they're playing Europa as well. Again, would it be like strengthening a rival sort of thing? Would it? I'm not too sure, because obviously they're playing Europa League as well, and we're challenging for that competition. So it'll be interesting to see whether he does go to Leicester. But Southampton and West Brom are the other 2 clubs linked. The other outsider club link is Newcastle, but again, I just don't see that one happening. So I think it's between Southampton and West Brom. Maybe if Leicester make a move, but they're saying they want to loan out Chowdhury to Newcastle or someone else. They want to offload someone else before moving for Ainsley. It'll be a tricky one, but it does look like it's going to be a loan just a straight loan until 6 months. I don't think there's going to be an option to buy. I wouldn't want one either, to be honest, just because Ainsley is a player that if he does well at another club, maybe in the summer he could be integrated into our plans, especially if Bellerin does go to Barcelona, PSG, etc. Then he could come into our plans, unless, you know, maybe his value goes up and then we sell him for 30-35 million pounds, because I think right now we could only get 20 million, and I don't think West Brom nor Southampton nor Leicester are going to play 20-25 million for Ainsley right now, because January window they're not going to do anything like that. And yeah, it'll be very interesting to see with Ainsley. I think for me, I'm at the point where let's just get rid of him, because if he ain't going to play, because he was on his way to Wolves and then Arteta blocked the move, and it was like, I mean, like, obviously you're going to play him then surely, and then he doesn't play any games, so it's like, why did you block the move? And if we got rid of Eddie as well, if we got rid of Ainsley as well, along with Martinez, we could have got a War or someone else as well in the summer, and maybe he would be in a better position now, who knows. But it's a very interesting one, I really do think so, with Ainsley, and I think I'd probably let him go, to be honest. Just end it, just get rid of him. Maybe it's time for him to move on, even if it's a 6-month loan, then he could come back and then maybe we can negotiate a permanent deal for more money. It depends how well he does. If he doesn't, then send him out another loan, but I'm not too sure on that one. But that's the news that Ainsley Maitland-Niles has been linked to a whole host of clubs, and he is reportedly on the verge of an exit in the last few days, whether that is to Southampton, West Brom, Leicester City, or even Newcastle. The next bit of news has got quite a few Liverpool fans in uproar. Oh my god. Mustafi to Liverpool, this is the one that has been linked, and last night especially a lot of reports were peddling this out there that Mustafi is a serious option for Jurgen Klopp. Now again, I think this is genuine, only for the reason because he's a World Cup winner. He's had a lot of experience, especially in the Premier League, at the highest level in the Premier League, and obviously in Valencia in Spain, and he's played for international, he's won a World Cup. I think Jurgen Klopp, obviously having the German link there, I think Jurgen Klopp might look at it and say, look, for 6 months, maybe a 6-month loan for Mustafi until he becomes a free agent, it's not the worst thing we can do. If I was Liverpool, I think I'd probably take him, because I think last season he was one of our best centre-backs, even though that wasn't very good. So yeah, possibly, I'm open to it. Get rid of him to Liverpool, get his wages off the books. I don't know, would we terminate his contract, because his dad came out and said that he's not going to terminate his contract, so would we sell him to Liverpool for a tiny bit of money? Would it be a 6-month loan sort of thing? I'm not too sure. I would think it would be a loan until he becomes a free agent, then obviously he goes to another club or joins on Liverpool on permanent, which obviously I don't see happening, because they'll have all their first choice centre-backs back, and they'll probably want to go for someone younger as a, you know, a long-term replacement for someone like Matip and Van Dijk. So it's interesting with Mustafi, whether he will go to Liverpool. We'll just have to see in the next hours, like in the next 1 or 2 days, it's till the transfer window, whether Liverpool do make an official approach to Arsenal for Mustafi, whether Liverpool do get serious about Mustafi. Because if I was a Liverpool fan, we need a centre-back. Like, I would be saying that we need a centre-back, go and sign a centre-back, and if that has to be Mustafi, has to be Mustafi. But Liverpool fans at the moment aren't happy about Mustafi. But who else is out there? Let's be real here. Jurgen Klopp apparently wanted Socrates. I thought that was a serious move for them, because obviously Jurgen Klopp and Socrates played with each other at Borussia Dortmund, so I thought that was a logical move, but maybe not. Mustafi, I think, is the next one then, possibly. I think it could happen, but we'll just have to see what happens with that one. But yeah, Mustafi has been linked to Liverpool. This bit of news is slightly old, and I could have peddled it out in a title a few days ago, but I didn't. And it's that Celtic, Arsenal and Chelsea are monitoring Hibernian's left back Josh Deutch, and he has caught the eye of those three clubs. And the teenager is under contract until 2023. And yeah, the 18-year-old Edinburgh-born defender has attracted attention from a whole host of clubs after making a number of impressive first-team displays since making his first-team debut last August. He is contracted to Easter Road until 2023, who represented Scotland at under-18 level. He made his 19th appearance for the season for Hibs on last Sunday's Bradford Cup semi-final defeat against St Johnstone. Celtic are not looking for a left-back in this transfer window, but they could make a move for Deutch in the summer. Arsenal obviously need a left back at the moment, and Josh Deutch, come on, he's barely played any football. He's played a few games for Hibs this season, and come on, no, just, and I saw on transfer market his value is like £5,000. Like, come on, seriously, he's not. I don't think he looks like a good player. Let's be real here. Everyone's saying he could be the next Kieran Tierney. Look, I don't know, because it's too early to say. He's only 18 years old, and Kieran Tierney, you know, when he made his move from Celtic to Arsenal, he was 22. So maybe let just Josh Deutch guy go to Celtic first and then monitor his progress from there. I'm not too sure, but I don't think we should go after this guy. I think if we really need a left back, I'm just like, just go for Bertrand now, just do it. Maybe even a swap deal for Ainsley or Bertrand if that's even possible. But this Josh Deutch guy, I know nothing about him, and would I want him? Not really. So that's the news that we have been linked to him, along with us, Chelsea, Arsenal and Celtic. Last bit of news, again peddled out by David Ornstein and some others as well, is that Nelson and Joe Willock could both leave on loan in the remaining days of the transfer window. Now, both players, again, not really had loads of chances, have they, this season? Nelson had a few chances in the Europa League. I really thought you'd get more of a chance in the Premier League, but then he had an injury which kind of ruled him out for the rest of the Europa League games. And since then, obviously, the emergence of, you know, some of the younger players like Smith Rowe and the return of Martinelli has meant that someone like Nelson hasn't been able to make it into the side. Joe Willock had a run in the Premier League after impressive performances in the Europa League, but didn't fail to impress, so he's really just not featured, has he? And he's played like 1 minute in extra times and stuff like that, so it's really not that much Willock has played either. And reports are suggesting they could be both loaned out in the remaining days, and to be honest, I wouldn't loan out both. I'd probably loan out one, just to, you know, I think we still need to keep a bit of squad depth going into the Europa League, because we will need it against teams like Benfica, maybe against other teams, so you never know. And I think we should probably keep hold of one of them, and if I had to choose one, it'd probably have to be Nelson. I think I've seen lots of Willock, but just not too impressed by him. And the fact that we have Odegaard now and Smith Rowe and Willian who can play in that position, I ain't not too tempted on it. So that is the news that we could be loaning out Joe Willock and Reece Nelson in the remaining days of the transfer window. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Match reaction on my channel for Manchester United after the game, and also on Glenn Kitely's channel, so go check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.